The general term of the series uk can be written as 1 upon k times k plus 1 times k plus 2. Now the numerator of this expression can be written as k plus 2 minus k divided by 2. And therefore uk can be broken into two components. The first component is half of k plus 2 divided by k times k plus 1 times k plus 2. And the second component is half of k divided by k times k plus 1 times k plus 2. In the first term, k plus 2 cancels. In the second term, k cancels. And therefore, uk can be written as half of 1 upon k times k plus 1 minus 1 upon k plus 1 times k plus 2. Now when k is equal to 1, u1, which is the first term, is equal to half of, in brackets, 1 upon 1 times 2 minus 1 upon 2 times 3. Similarly, when k is equal to 2, the second term of the series u2 is equal to half of, in brackets, 1 upon 2 times 3 minus 1 upon 3 times 4. When k is equal to 3, u3 is equal to half of 1 upon 3 times 4 minus 1 upon 4 times 5. And so on and so forth. When k is equal to n minus 1, un minus 1 is equal to half of 1 upon n minus 1 times n minus 1 upon n times n plus 1. And finally, the last term of the series un is equal to half of, in brackets, 1 upon n times n plus 1 minus 1 upon n plus 1 times n plus 2. Now we add up all of these equations. On the left hand side, we have the sum of the series to n terms. Let's denote it by Sn. And on the right hand side, all the terms cancel out except for the first term in the first row and the last term in the last row. And therefore, the value of the right hand side is equal to half of, in brackets, 1 upon 1 times 2 minus 1 upon n plus 1 times n plus 2. And therefore, Sn is equal to 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 2 times n plus 1 times n plus 2, which is the required answer. Now, in order to calculate the sum of the series to infinity, we take the limit of Sn as n tends to infinity, and this is equal to the limit of 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 2 times n plus 1 times n plus 2 as n tends to infinity. Now, as n tends to infinity, the value of the second term tends to 0, and therefore the sum of the series to infinity is equal to 1 upon 4, which is the required answer.